It's not a surprise that SPINEL was treated differently in Steven Universe Future after her first appearance in the movie. Even the community has made memes of it. But for some reason, they all connect to one character, Blue Diamond. When I started to connect the dots between the memes and the actual show, I was blown away on how many clues the show brings to us on why SPINEL was so different in this episode. And it gets deeper than you think. This is the drugged SPINEL theory. Steven Universe Future is set after the Steven Universe movie. This miniseries is about Steven dealing with his trauma and becoming worse every single episode. But it also focuses on closing the character arcs and tying up loose ends to all the other main characters, such as the new member of the family, SPINEL. But for some reason, she's not treated like the rest. While everyone has already battled or they are battling with their inner traumas to evolve as a person, like Pearl in volleyball did, SPINEL just doesn't get anything like that. The writers threw her charisma and her personality out the window, making her annoying and childish instead of mature, like in the end of the movie. And believe me, I didn't like this either. But I always had doubts if they made this decision accidentally or on purpose. But recently, I think they had an actual reason to do this. Let me explain. So in one part of Homeward Bound, Steven and SPINEL go to ask Blue on how she can make Steven feel better.
My tears vaporized into these clouds, bringing pure joy to all those who came into contact with them.
This made people think that SPINEL was so different and weird because of Blue's clouds, as a joke. But what if I told you that it wasn't supposed to be a joke at all, and that these clouds actually changed SPINEL mentally and psychologically, and I'm going to prove it. First, we need to know what these clouds really do. Well, these clouds can make you feel happy. The thing is that it does this unwillingly, like we see with Steven. When he touches one, he starts to smile and laugh, but he doesn't feel happy at all. Most people have connected this to drugs, but I think these clouds could be even worse than drugs. These clouds can make you smile, laugh, and act childlike, like we see in Steven when he gets picked by them. But we know that he doesn't feel like that at all. It's basically emotional manipulation that even Blue uses on herself to be in a good mood.
That seems awfully troubling, Steven.
You don't seem troubled.
That's because of Blue's cool new power.
But then, Steven says,
No, this isn't right.
And he breaks free of the effects of the clouds in time. But what if SPINEL didn't? What if SPINEL was touched by these clouds before and spent too much time in them? Hold on. We actually know that SPINEL touched these clouds before. She literally says,
Just hop onto one and you'll be feeling the cheer in no time.
She knows how it feels to be in one of those clouds. SPINEL is so affected by these things that even when she sees Steven feeling bad, instead of doing something, she just frowns. And when Steven was floating in the air, picked by the clouds, being affected by them, she had no clue that he didn't like it. And she laughed, even though she watched how Steven repelled the clouds just minutes ago. But SPINEL isn't fully affected by the clouds. We can still see glimpses of the personality she had at the end of the movie, like her intelligence.
Isn't it great? Instead of taking control of other gems, now she can channel our thoughts into her body.
Agility, and her regret.
I tried to wipe his friend's memories so he would die alone on a barren world.
But she has no voice of reason. She has no autocritic at all. Now she's dependent. Again. But as I said before, this is not the last time we see evidence of this. So let's get even deeper. So in this episode, Steven tries to fix his traumatic stress by trying to make every diamond help him. And then he tries to commit murder and runs away like he always does in this show. But the thing is that SPINEL guides him through the palace, and her mood when she enters Yellow and White's room is normal. She just stays still and often does weird things. Oh gosh, these animators were really not doing a good job. But SPINEL only gets excited by, guess who? Blue freaking Diamond. When we arrive to Blue's room, we see her constantly dancing and jumping, and she even says
Blue's cool new power.
that for some reason the power reminded me to Palpatine.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
Okay, going back on track, SPINEL is obviously more focused on Blue than anyone. The only time we see her jump and spin around in excitement is exactly when they're going to see Blue. And it doesn't even end there. In the scene when Steven gets touched by the clouds, it forces a smile on his face and then looks at SPINEL in a strange way. His eyes move erratically, fast and sudden. And where did we see this exact way of moving your eyes before? In the freaking animation error that I mentioned before with SPINEL. She moves her eyes exactly like Steven does, and her smile doesn't even feel right. Also, like I said before, it's like she doesn't even understand emotions at all. These clouds not only make her childish, but also dumb. Well, until the moments when she's not dumb. It's like Patrick Star. She has her little moments of intelligence.
We could filter the CO2 through our ballast tanks, refire the engines, and ride the shockwave out of here.
Wow.
He's right.
And then she returns to being dumb.
We're going through with your plan, Patrick. Yay!
What plan?
I can show you 2 clips that happen in the same scene, and it feels like genuinely 2 different personalities in one body.
Isn't it great? Instead of taking control of other gems, now she can channel our thoughts into her body, so we can control her instead. Watch this. Yes, please.
This can't be an accident. If they know how to make SPINEL be like SPINEL for a glimpse, then why didn't they do it with the rest of the episode? And even if it was rushed, then how are there so many clues about Blue's clouds? As you can see, this is now adding another layer. But what if I told you that from the first scene we saw of SPINEL in Steven Universe Future, the writers were already trying to make us question SPINEL's behavior? I have been a Steven X SPINEL auntie for 4 years now, and I can tell you that when SPINEL kissed Steven, it literally destroyed any hope I had for Steven Universe Future.
No, done, fucking done! Fuck you, 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 fuck you!
That's why I'm making the universal fate in the first place. But after including the drug theory into the mix, everything suddenly makes sense. Just after the worst thing happens, Steven says,
SPINEL, what is wrong with you?
and SPINEL misunderstands it by saying,
Oh, you know, the usual.
as if Steven was asking how she was doing. This is only the first sign of the writers acknowledging to the audience that something is actually wrong with her. Proving that
The kiss was just a tool to make this theory, and Steven X SPINEL isn't actually canon. Whoa!
but the community obviously took it as canon. So, but this is just the beginning. Steven has a worried and scared expression when he's talking with her, as if he didn't even recognize her. And talking about the ship, the writers also proved that Steven X SPINEL wasn't canon with the kiss Connie did to Steven in the last episode. So it's obvious that the kiss was just a piece of the puzzle for this theory. Going back into the main point, SPINEL also does various poses that she didn't do in the movie at all, just to show you guys how different the clouds made SPINEL in the first place. Now, talking about the clouds, they always make people change their expression when they ride in one of them. They get relaxed, or they laugh, they make have new positive emotion enter their body. I only said this to, bring context into the clip that I'm going to show you in this instant. The clip that I'm going to show you is one of the most wild evidence of this theory that has motivated me to make this video in the first place. And I'm going to show you the clip right now. You probably didn't see it at normal speed, so let's slow it down a bit. Did you see it?
Spinel's expression doesn't change at all when she hops into these clouds, meaning she has been in the effects of these clouds the entire freaking episode. And the worst part is that we didn't even notice.
You thought I was done with the evidence, did you? You thought I was just going to skip into the last part of the video, but no. I have found the most mind-blowing evidence for the last moment of this part of the video. And the best part is that it doesn't even come from Spinel, but it comes from Steven and Blue, and it's right after Steven is saved by Spinel. He looks at Blue and says,
You can't just magically make me feel better.
Yes, I can. That's literally my new power.
Now, this doesn't seem dark at all. It actually seems like a funny scene. But when you put the context of the theory and take Blue's words in a more serious way, then you get this.
You can't just magically make me feel better.
Yes, I can. That's literally my new power.
Now we know that Spinel has been affected by these clouds. But why? Why would Blue make our little pink noodle act like this? In the final part of Homeward Bound, Steven, after trying to murder White Diamond, runs through the hallways while Spinel follows him. And then he stops and asks her,
You used to have vengeful thoughts.
Oh yeah, but I don't get them anymore.
You don't get them anymore? Now we know that Spinel was actually struggling with vengeful thoughts like Steven. And of course, she wasn't pleased with those thoughts because she says this in a proud way. Like, she's so drunk I can't even identify what she's feeling right now. Okay, I know that the thing I'm about to say is a big leap, but based on the information I just said, what if she went to Blue to ask for help and ended up like this for being in one of those clouds for a long time? And she ended up like this as an accident. But wait, Blue knows what these powers can do.
That's literally my new power.
So, why didn't she, undrug her? And why didn't any of the diamonds help her? And why did they look so normal around her? And why does Spinel think it's a cool new power if she knew that it made her like this? And there's this weird moment in I Am My Monster that after Blue tries to calm down Steven with her clouds, corrupted Steven repels it and throws it back at Blue. But just before she gets hit, Yellow steps in and says,
Look out!
Why was she protecting Blue from the clouds? It's not like these things are bullets. Yellow knew something would happen to Blue if those clouds touched her. And also, Spinel and Blue were affected a lot by the mistakes of Pink. So what if these clouds only changed the mentality of the people who suffered the most? But that's strange, isn't it? Blue created these clouds to bring happiness to people. And these clouds affect you mentally by the stronger your trauma is? It's too specific. It's like they were designed to... No way. Could the diamonds have done this on purpose? No way, that's impossible. They got redeemed in season 5. There's no evidence that they would try to use someone in this way for their benefit. Right?
Wrong!
Strap your seatbelts, everybody. In the ending of Steven Universe the movie, the diamonds took Spinel to Homeworld, and various people said that the diamonds took Spinel to replace Pink, like they wanted to do with Steven at the beginning of the movie, even resulting in various AUs. But if we put the logic of the drug theory again with the ending of the movie, there's only one diamond who says a quote connected to Pink herself. And And which diamond says it?
She's adorable and so much like Pink.
Well, that's a thing that just happened.
Blue, you lying rock. Of course the one diamond who was most affected with Pink's false shattering would be the one to do something like this. They probably did this so SPINEL wouldn't leave Homeworld, so that it doesn't happen like the last time.
The sad part is that there isn't a good conclusion with this. There's no possible way to save SPINEL from these clouds. The last time we heard of SPINEL was her hugging the Godzilla Steven. SPINEL is now condemned to be like a child forever. She has now been officially used by everyone in an endless cycle of confusion and innocence. A trust that she put and that has been broken by the same kind of people who abandoned her in the first place. And this has been the drugged SPINEL theory.
You'll get by if you smile. Through your fear and sorrow, smile. And maybe tomorrow
You forgot your foot thong thingy!